The other day, I went to get a bag of chips. I got my go-tos, Takis, obviously. But then I realized how there were so little chips in the bag. It seemed to be about half air, half chips. I remembered thinking this every time I had a bag of chips and always wondered why. So, I decided to ask the nice cashier man.
I was wondering, do you know why there's so much air in all the chip bags?
It's the company who loaded it.
Yeah, is that why?
Chips are a great snack food. So many different kinds, so many different flavors. But was that really why there was so much air? I felt like it couldn't be, so I did some research. After some digging around, I found that bags of chips are pumped with nitrogen. Why nitrogen, you ask? Well, oxygen would cause the fat in the chips to oxidize or slowly deteriorate and taste funny. Nitrogen doesn't cause any chemical reactions that affect the flavor. It's something called the slack fill, which is allowed if it keeps the bag from breaking. I think people prefer their chips to be intact and full, not in crumbs. Chips, 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 chips. Let's take Takis for example, and see how much slack fill is in the bag I picked out. There's still some more room to cut until we actually hit the chips. There we go. So do you think the cashier at the store was right? Are those companies being crooked and shortchanging us? No, I don't think so. How about these other bags of chips? Do they compare? Did you know Lay's are the most eaten chips in the country? Americans buy about $1.6 billion worth of Lay's potato chips every year. That's a lot of Lay's. Say the chip companies didn't allow slack fill into the bags, and they filled the chips to the very top, to the brim, every time, leaving no room for nitrogen. What do you think would happen most of the time? You probably guessed it. That's a frowny face, if you couldn't tell. There we go. How about now? Now let's take a look at some other chip packages. Pringles. Wait, why is it green? Okay, there we go. So these Pringles cans don't necessarily need to have slack fill because of the container they're in. A small Pringles can is about 2.36 ounces and has approximately 16 chips. And these chips will almost all be intact. Whereas a Dorito chips bag is about 3.5 ounces and you get approximately 33 chips. And if we go by price, Pringles are a whopping $1 on the Target website, while on the Dorito bag it clearly says $1.49. So, I guess it's preference. It's up to the consumer. What do you like? What do you not like? Now that I know why these bags of chips are filled with nitrogen and are supposed to have a smaller amount of chips, do I think there might be a little too much waste on the packaging, and maybe they can pump slightly less nitrogen into some of the bags, and maybe a little more chips? I think maybe there can be some sort of solution. Maybe a little compromise. But then again, maybe not. What do you guys think?